Hello, this is Bill Steffen. Thanks so much for stopping by today. We're going to crank up the wind here for the next couple of days. It's been a windy spring, and I expect we'll get some wind gusts close to 40 miles an hour here this afternoon, overnight, and perhaps even into the early part of tomorrow. There's gale warnings out on Lake Michigan from Grand Haven off to the north, and for much of the Lake Superior area as well. Well, let's take a look at weather. 72-hour precipitation. Fortunately, much of that area that really saw heavy rain here over the past couple of weeks from Arkansas up into western Tennessee and into Kentucky should only see light amounts, if any at all. Precipitation in West Michigan should be fairly light. You can see there's more precipitation as you head east toward the Appalachian Mountains in New England and also up to the north toward the UP. And you can guess what's going to happen up in upper Michigan. Well, our 72-hour snowfall graphic shows it's going to snow again. And I've mentioned that there just seems to be that snow magnet up there in the UP. Every storm seems to wind up there. It's still cold enough for snow up there. And that little yellow area west of Marquette is where 6 inches of snow is going to fall. And in fact, they're forecasting 2 to 8 inches of new snow from the Poconos and Ironwood area east all the way towards Sault Ste. Marie. There'll be some snow in northern lower Michigan as well, especially that area from Mansalona, Kalkaska up to around the Gaylord area. And there'll be some snow in parts of New York and New England. Winter weather advisory for much of upper Michigan, especially along the Lake Superior shoreline. And like I said, anywhere from 2 to 8 inches of snow is expected there. We'll take time out to thank our sponsors here for us. We'll be right back to talk about our chances for severe weather here next Friday.
Need a fast, efficient, and affordable cleaning service? Complete Care Concierge has you covered. Serving all of West Michigan, we offer one-time, daily, weekly, and bi-weekly cleans, plus move in, move out. We also service apartment hallways and laundry rooms. Our work is guaranteed, gift cards are available, and we even clean on weekends. There's no better way to say I love you than giving a tired mom a break from dishes and laundry. Are you a busy professional? Pamper yourself by taking vacuuming and dusting off your plate. Office manager, keep your business looking and feeling its very best. Call 616-264-1397 today for a spotless space and total peace of mind.
When your home needs help, you might not know where to start. Why not ask Ace? We're always here to help with Ace Handyman Services. Our talented craftsmen handle everything from drywall and carpentry to doors and kitchens. We're the neighbors you trust to get the job done right. Let's get started. Book your handyman appointment today. Ace Handyman Services, bringing helpful to your home.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Here's a look at the severe weather outlook area for later on today. This is from the Storm Prediction Center, and it says there is a level 2 or slight risk across portions of southern Ohio, southwest Pennsylvania, much of West Virginia, and northeastern Kentucky. Main threat there would be isolated wind damage. I don't think we get any significant thunderstorm activity here in the state of Michigan. There's a chance of a general thunderstorm. That's a flash of lightning or two up across northern lower Michigan and the eastern UP, but most areas up there even won't see that. However, we are looking at Friday. This is the early outlook on day 6. This would be for Friday from the Storm Prediction Center, and it has a slight risk. That would be a level 2 risk from Texas all the way up to southern lower Michigan. And there'll be a frontal system approaching, and as it does, there'll be some showers and some thunderstorms developing. Still a little unsure as to exactly where the highest threat is going to be, but keep in mind as you're making your plans for this weekend that Friday, especially in the afternoon and evening, we could see some pretty significant thunderstorm activity rolling on through. Okay, headlines. Chance of a shower during the day today, though most of the day it will not be raining. It will get windy here today, and it will stay windy here during at least the early part of Tuesday. Mild weather today. We should be back up above 60 degrees for a brief time, though with that wind, it probably won't feel that warm. Colder weather pushes in tomorrow as temperatures during the afternoon will be back to the mid to upper 40s. I mean, that's not super cold, but certainly colder than it will be today. And if you're looking for a sunshiny day, that will be Wednesday of this week. All right, our forecast here for today calls for temperatures in the low 60s. Look for mid 40s here overnight, there'll be that chance of a shower, but like I said, most of the time it won't be raining. Humidity a little higher than yesterday at 70% during the afternoon. And look at the wind, west at 20 to 25 miles an hour. Wouldn't be surprised if we had some gusts in the 35 to 40 mile an hour range out of the west. And of course, with that west wind, it'll be a little bit cooler near Lake Michigan. So let's take a look then at 3-day forecast. There'll be a chance for a couple of scattered showers here today and tonight, especially tonight, Monday night into very early Tuesday, probably the most likely time to get a shower here, and it will be windy. Tuesday afternoon late, you could actually see a smidgen of sunshine, but if you're looking for sun, pick Wednesday. Wednesday, not a warm day. In fact, we'll start out probably a little bit below freezing or close to it, and then temperatures warm up into the low 50s here during the afternoon. High temperatures over the next 3 days. Here's the outlook for Monday. I know the numbers are kind of small here, but you can check out readings in the mid-60s toward the Indiana border, low 60s into Grand Rapids, cooler only low to mid-50s along the lakeshore north of Muskegon. And you can see the colder air starting to come into the UP and northern Wisconsin, where temperatures will only be in the 40s. Tuesday, we're in the cool air. Much of the day, temperatures will be in the 40s here. Mid-afternoon, we're around 46 in Grand Rapids. It may reach 50 at the Indiana border. And off to the north, there'll be some 30s for high temperatures from Traverse City north. Traverse City will have a wind coming in off the bay, and that's pretty chilly this time of year. For Wednesday, pretty nice day with some sunshine, but cool in the morning as temperatures bottom out around the freezing mark. In the afternoon, most of lower Michigan is in the low 50s or thereabouts, some 40s off to the north, and even a few 30s up there in upper Michigan. So taking a look at the 5-day forecast, chance of a shower today, windy 62, cooler near the lake. Windy 49 here during the day on Tuesday. Could be a light shower sprinkle early, but most of the day should be dry. Wednesday, we get pretty much full sunshine here, and Thursday looks like a pretty nice day, and temperatures will be warmer. Thursday will be a pretty good day to grab the golf clubs and go out if you're inspired by the Masters and McIlroy. Look for a chance for showers and storms on Friday, and some of those could be on the strong side. Temperatures on Friday should reach the mid-60s. Latest long-range outlook for the 8 to 14-day period. That takes us to April 21 to 27. It gives us warm temperatures here from Michigan. Everybody off to the southeast, there's going to be a lot of temperatures from the mid-70s to the even low to mid-80s as you head south toward Florida. And there's cooler air in the western United States. And then rainfall will be above average. And that's going to be kind of interesting, this combination of the warm weather and the wet weather. The 8 to 14-day rainfall outlook calls for that shower activity here to kind of linger. There will be some thunderstorms mixed up in there yet. And we'll take a look at the next slide if we could. And there it is. You can see the above average rainfall totals there in lower Michigan. So keep in mind, we're headed toward a wetter and perhaps more thunderstormy type of pattern here starting about Friday of this week. So we got some interesting stuff for you, a little climate information for you. This April 14th, the warmest temperature ever was 83, and that was just a couple of years ago in 2023. The lowest temperature ever was 18, and that was in 1940. Most snow we've ever had on this date was about 4 inches in 2019. That was also fairly recent. We got records going back into the 1880s. The average high is now up into the upper 50s, 57. So we can have a cooler than average day of maybe 52, and that's 5 degrees cooler than average. So we're really making progress here toward late spring and summer. Average low temperature is now above freezing at 36. Some interesting information for you to pass along on this date, April 14. The Alpine Theater on Alpine Avenue rolled the credits for the last time. Movie ticket for a while there was $1.50. I lived up in this area, and I went there a few times. Of course, it was on the small side relative to some of the really big theaters, the Celebration Cinemas that we have here now, where you have so many screens there in one location. But interesting climate, or interesting note, if you were up there between 3 and 4 Mile Road and Alpine, there was Jack Keller Ford. Seabell Chevrolet was on the corner of 4 Mile and Alpine. There was Village Inn Pizza. The Clock Restaurant was up in there. There was a Kmart on one side. On the other side was the Green Ridge Golf Course. So things have changed over the years. Okay, more interesting information from this date. On this date in 1931, the 20 millionth Ford drove off the assembly line. It was a 1931 Ford Model A. I wonder what number my Ford is. It'd be interesting to kind of find out. Maybe they're up into the billions by now. I don't know. All right, let's go on here. The first passenger flight took off on this date from Detroit Airport, DTW, now service to 30 countries and 39 states. They have 6 runways and 129 gates. I have landed there quite a few times and bounced from there back to Grand Rapids. That's a little overview of the airport there, showing the different runways. Planes tend to like to take off and land into the wind. So if the wind is out of the north, they're going to want to come in from the south. And same thing, if the wind's out of the north, they're going to want to take off, moving from south to north as well. So interesting. All right, some food news here for you. On this date in 1896, Kellogg's Corn Flakes was patented. Flake cereals and process of preparing the same. So we've got breakfast cereals. You don't see too many commercials for breakfast cereals anymore. You used to see a lot of those on TV, but not so many anymore here. We get instead we get Sam Bernstein and gambling and a lot of home improvement now and whatnot since the spring. C.W. Post was a patient at the Battle Creek Sanitarium where the Kellogg's people worked, and they started making rival products. Post Toasties was first called Elijah's Manna. I didn't know that. The UK government wouldn't let them sell Elijah's Manna in the UK because they said it violated Christianity to call a cereal that. Wow. Okay, let's go on to the next one here. That's kind of interesting. My grandfather would have a bowl of cornflakes every morning, Sunnyfield cornflakes, along with a cup of coffee. Marquette is the airport code that you're looking for right there, MQT. That's pretty obvious. A lot of times the airport codes tend to be a shortened spelling of the city itself. And we go to the next one, we'll see another example of that. FNT is the airport code for what Michigan airport? And that would be Flint. Now, not every airport, Grand Rapids is GRR, by the way, but not every airport is like that. Nashville, Tennessee is BNA and is referred to as Bananaville sometimes, but I think that stands for Butler National, if I'm not mistaken. PLN is the airport code for this airport, which is a convenient way to get to Mackinac Island, and that is true. PLN is for Pellston. And of course, the meteorologists would know all of these because we have weather stations at the airports because pilots want to know what the weather's like. So we put weather stations at the airports. We had a year, what was it, 2014 maybe? One of those years, there was a ton of ice left in the lake up there, Lake Huron, and by the Mack Bridge, and they couldn't get the ferries to go through, so they had to stock the island by plane, and they were running planes back and forth and back and forth. I talked to a pilot there. He said he was working as many hours as he could get in, just flying supplies into the airport, or into the airport on Mackinac Island, in order to get all the hotels up and ready to go for the season. So that was interesting. Well, here's another one for you. On this date, these two Michigan newspapers announced a joint operating agreement. The agreement was between the owners of Knight Ridder newspapers and Gannett. Both newspapers are still in business today, but with less than half the employees that they had on April 14, 1986. Think Southeast Michigan, and that would be the Detroit Free Press and the Detroit News. And of course, there's an agreement amongst the MLive stations too, or the MLive newspapers around the state as well. And as times change, you have to kind of go with that. Everything is a little bit different. I mean, we used to do a 6 o'clock news and an 11 o'clock news, and now on TV we're going from 4 to 6:30, and then there's a 7 o'clock news and a 10 o'clock news. In the morning, golly, they go for 2.5 hours, I think, in the morning now too, plus the cut-ins that they do. So it's a little different ball game, and newspapers, TV stations, of course, have to adjust to all of that. All right, on this date, the Titanic hit an iceberg and sunk. A tragic situation in the Atlantic Ocean. April, of course, there are icebergs there. The water was freezing cold. They did get some of the lifeboats out, so some of the people there were saved. But tragic situation, the Titanic striking an iceberg on this date in 1912. Well, we've come to the end of our program here. Thanks so much for staying with us. Hope you have yourself a wonderful Monday. And again, a little windy forecast here for the next couple of days, and keep an eye out on Friday for potential severe weather. Have a good one.